Hi, and welcome to Writer's Ramble. I'm Michael,
And I'm Deanna.
and today we're going to be reading Chapter 7 of The Darkness. This is part of our ongoing series, Storytime, where we read Deanna's original story back when she was like 9 or 10, and just really have fun reading the absolute gold that was her 10-year-old brain.
I would like to mention, can't remember if I've said it before, but at the time in my class, all the students really liked it for some reason. They would actually ask me, have you written any new chapters yet? And they'd, get passed around the classroom, so apparently kids think it's great, which leads me to believe that kids are easy to entertain, because it's not good. But anyways, without further ado, Chapter 7, The Mine Shaft. Slow.
Ripping off Minecraft, are we?
I didn't even know what Minecraft was at that time.
I don't know if it existed at that
Yeah,
time.
I was gonna say, I don't think... When did it even rise in popularity? I'm gonna guess, 2011 or 2012 or something.
Yeah, roughly around that time. I mean, it came out in 2009, technically.
Oh, well, it takes a few years for some things to be noticed.
Yeah.
I remember my friends playing it. Anyways, Jace and Katie were... Oh. Jace and Katie were bored and knew it would be a long, long trip. I used the wrong board, and it just...
I'm new.
Yeah. At first I thought I meant, traveling abroad or something, and I was, bored? And I was like, oh. Anyways. I wish we could get close to Egypt faster, Jace said with a sigh. And yes, Egypt. Egypt is terribly spelled.
It's spelled Egypt.
As I just said a second ago. Jace said with a sigh. Katie cried out, "Look, a mine shaft!" Jace squinted at it. Dramatic reading. I remember this. Me and my friends went here, Jace said just above a whisper.
Dialogue 10 out of 10.
Thanks.
We went here. That's it.
He's getting to it. I remember we were playing hide and seek. We were 5 years old and we went down there and went through crazy stuff. Then workers found us and took us back home. I feel bad for those guys are like, what the fuck are these 5-year-olds doing here?
They could literally die.
Jay said. Well, let's go, Katie said to Jace.
Yeah, let's go to the dangerous mine shaft. There's definitely no way we could die in there. There's no pits or rocks or anything.
It's okay, Jace is 13 now, he knows stuff.
Oh, right, of course. That makes it all better, of course.
Jace...
13 is obviously the year in which you know everything, and the world is your oyster, as we clearly know by the fact that everything since the age of 13 has gone downhill, right?
13, technically a teenager, technically adult, basically.
Basically, yeah.
Jace looked at Katie. I don't know. Katie put her hands on her hips. You're gonna go through crazy stuff anyways. Okay, Jace answered.
You are going to suffer, so you might as well enter the dark, scary mine shaft.
You gotta push the limits, you gotta test things out, see, how qualified he is for, going to fucking Egypt. If he can't survive a mine shaft, go big or go home.
As we've mentioned before, this is partially inspired by Zelda, and I have to say that Jace as a substitute for Link kind of sucks, because Link is known to be courageous and doesn't hesitate, and Link is a scared baby boy in comparison.
I don't know, I mean, here I had Jace just trying to be smart. He's like, I don't know if it's a good idea for us to be going in there. And as an adult, yes, he's right. He shouldn't be going in there, but Katie apparently is a bad influence. She's like, just do it, pussy!
What are you waiting for?
They walked down in the mine shaft. When they got further down in the tunnel, there was a foot of water.
A whole foot.
Wow!
That's not even that much. They could have been knee-high, waist-high, chest-high, but nah, it's it's like a foot of water, so that like goes like kind of up your shin a little.
You know, at that age, lots of things are, you know, an adventure, and it's like, wow, look at all this water. Gotta put things, or gotta end all sentences with exclamation points.
I would understand a foot of water in like sewage area, but like this is a mine shaft. Why is there like water in there?
Oh no.
Okay. Also, does this add to the story in any way? I think he just kind of did it for the little illustration.
You know, just like making the scene kind of more interesting. It's like, why mention if there's trees in a certain setting or birds chirping or anything?
I feel like it was meant though to be some sort of obstacle he's getting through, but like walking through a foot of water is not hard.
I think I just wanted it to feel a little more dramatic or something. Anyways, Jace struggled in the water. Katie floated above the water, of course.
Of course.
Because she's a fairy, in case you forgot.
She doesn't even have wings.
Well, don't pay any attention to that. It's so empty. Something must have scared the workers away, Katie said to Jace. Jace, while we're walking, I would like to show you things you will need, Katie said to Jace. So, like, this is nice of her. She just gives him items. You know, in most Zelda games, you have to, like, go through dungeons and then you get your item, but instead of Katie's like, here you go.
The balancing in this game is really bad. She just gives you all the items at once.
Don't even have to work hard. You just agree to go to Egypt with this strange person.
I'm gonna ask now, because I think I kind of already know the answer. Does he use all of these, or does he only ever use like some of them, and you kind of forgot that they were there?
No, I think he does use all of them.
Really?
I think so.
Wow, good job.
Might have been like later in the story. I was like, he hasn't used this ninja star, or as it says, ninga. What does it say?
It says ninga star. Really, really try your best not to say that wrong.
Yeah. Mind you, I can't remember if I was 9 when I wrote this part in particular. I might have been more like 10, but you know.
Yeah.
It's like the same. You don't do too much mental maturing, I feel like, at that age.
I feel like if you were a boy, you would have spelled it right because we like ninjas, and so would have seen the word more often.
Yeah. I never really cared for ninjas, honestly.
Boy, they're so cool.
Such a boy answer.
What's wrong with ninjas?
I don't know, I just never really paid much attention to them, I guess.
I liked them when I was younger. Like the whole like super stealthy that no one would ever see you, and like super lithe and agile, and you can get anywhere, climb ceilings, stuff like that. Almost kind of a similar feeling as like the Spider-Man fantasy, just being like super agile and be able to go anywhere and do anything and kill a fool with your ninja star.
I mean, I liked Spider-Man. I had a crush on him when I was little, but yeah, for some reason the ninja thing never crossed my mind. But anyways, back to the dramatic reading.
I want to talk about Spider-Man more. Okay, let's go.
Sorry, he does not make an appearance in this, surprisingly, because I do kind of interweave a lot of things that I liked, you know, as a child, but...
Didn't have, like, a Spider-Man character, though.
No. Jace guessed, what, like weapons and tools? Katie answered, yep. I love the name of this one in particular. Like the boom blade.
She said it with an exclamation point. The boom blade!
The boom blade is like a meat cleave. I feel like I'm about to...
Cleaver. It's the
meat
cleaver.
The boom blade is like a meat cleaver, but it's shaped like a boomerang, and it even comes back like a boomerang. You even have a ninja star. You have an in-hand blade, which you have a shield over your hand, but on the outside there's a blade on its side. Very descriptive.
I can see what you were going for with the picture, but it's still kind of confusing.
Yeah. It's a knife that's horizontal, basically.
That's basically just like a sword with like a handguard, but like stupider because the sword is sideways.
I don't know how to like explain what I had in mind. It's mostly like a movement, like uh looks I don't know. Looks wrong.
But a sword has way longer reach.
No, I know. This
Okay.
is like for close proximity fighting, like very close.
I feel like generally speaking, you want to be farther away from your enemy than I mean, sometimes you have to be close, but most of the time you'd rather be farther. Also, I love the idea of the boom blade because in practice that would just be so bad.
So dangerous.
It would definitely chop your hand off.
You know, it's kind of interesting because like it comes back like Thor's hammer, and that's cool and all. But like with Thor's hammer, you don't have to be too scared because it's a hammer. Except with it's Stormbreaker, right?
Stormbreaker, yeah.
Yeah, with Stormbreaker, that one is like an axe looking type thing. So I guess you would have
That one
to...
doesn't come back, does it?
Yeah, it does.
Does it?
Yeah.
No. Well, it's also magic is the thing, so it'll always come back handle first.
Yeah, you just have to.
But this is like supposedly like boomerang physics, meaning like the boomerang aspect of it, like it's not necessarily going to automatically come handle first.
You don't need your fingers.
Nah. I do have a question though. Did you involve a boomerang type weapon because of Ty the Tasmanian Tiger?
Uh, Maybe? I'm not sure, to be honest.
Because I could see you. Well, actually, I guess Link has a boomerang too.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Various video game characters, just for whatever reason, they gotta have a boomerang.
Those are the only two I can think of as the thing.
Yeah, that's true. Mario never had a boomerang, did he?
Actually, he
Or-
can.
Really?
There's a certain power up in 3D World, I believe, that you can get like the boomerang from the Boomerang Bros.
Oh. Well, I never played that one, but... You have an attack star. I love the name of that one, too. Which is like a ninja star, but with rope attached to it, so you can swing it and... Wait. So you can swing it and get an enemy. It stabs them, and you get... What is this word? And you get them...
Trodes. Okay, so
I know what it is. And you get them towards you, or you can throw them.
all right,
T-
Troueds, towards, obviously.
Nice. You, which
Wait,
is...
so he can throw the enemies once he pulls the enemies toward him?
Yeah, so it looks like it's like a ninja star, but you can, like, grab the enemy with it and, like, bring them at you.
So what he has is the hooks that Scorpion from Mortal Kombat has when he says, "Get over here!"
I guess so. You have a Dimitri latch. Oh, yes, Dimitri's coming back into play. Which is like an attack star, but it latches onto stuff and you pull yourself to it. So it's basically like a grappling hook.
These things could have been the same thing.
Yeah. One is stabby, the other is not.
You could just like have it switch modes.
Yeah. I wasn't that smart. Instead, I was like, let's just give him a whole other item.
Mm-hmm.
Then you... Oh, gosh. Then you...
You just noticed how you spell suction, huh?
Yeah. Then you have a suction gun. I even
you
wrote
know-
out how to spell it because I knew I spelled it wrong.
You know, it's kind of smart in a dumb way how you spelled it because it has the word suck in it. And you spelled suck correctly. You didn't spell suction correctly, though.
I was like, this makes sense. But it looks wrong for some reason, so I'll write it out on the side how to verbally, like how to say it.
Suction.
It has a handle with a pole that has rope inside with a suction at the end let's say you saw a smooth wall, you can push the button and it sticks to the wall and you climb. Jace's eyes got wide. Wow. Then Jace and Katie saw a dim light. And I think that's the end of the chapter. Yeah.
I feel like the attack star, the Dimitri latch, and the suction gun could all be the same thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could argue that, like, with the Dimitri latch, that's only if you have something that, like, maybe you're, like, climbing up a mountain and it, like, hooks onto something, but, like, I think I included the suction gun thing, like, if you didn't have an option where it could latch onto something, instead it can just, like, suction cup to a smooth wall.
I get it, but like these, like I said before, these could be like three different versions of the same thing. You can
I
just switch it out.
wanted to make sure my boy was covered.
Also, like, um, I guess I'm just kind of curious in what ways these were used in the actual story because you have it very Zelda-esque, and all of that would make sense in like a video game context, but video games aren't books and books aren't video games, so I'm wondering like I guess like how it's gonna go. Like, let's say you're playing a video game and you need like a certain item to get to a certain higher area, and so you go searching around and then you find the item and then you can get up there and it's like, oh, that's a cool neat little thing you do. It's interactive, it's part of the video game, it's fun. But like in a story, like you would have to just kind of like contrive a ledge or something, and it's like, oh yes, I will use my suction gun, or like it's very Dora. You know what I mean?
How insulting. I never even watched Dora as a child.
But that was like her whole thing. Like at the beginning of the episode, she would go out starting an adventure. She needs to usually go somewhere, and she'll take certain items with her, like 3 or 4 items. And then, of course, by happenstance, she would come across a situation in which she can use those exact items, and she'll use like all of them by the end. And then, and usually, Swiper comes along at some point and tries to steal her. Uh, what is it he's usually trying to steal? I actually don't know. I can't remember. I guess he just kind of tries to steal whatever she has because he's a thief. And then she says no, and then he stops because he's the stupidest burglar in all of history.
Actually, it's swiper, no swiping. Get it right. I didn't even watch it and I knew that.
I know how to say it right. I was just paraphrasing. Gosh. But like, that's something that little kids like and like appreciate, and but like it's also like visually interesting, at least because like a TV show. I guess I just really wonder how this will translate.
Wonderfully, as you can see. And like I mentioned, I think all the items do. I think they are seen later in the story, so I think all of them were actually used, believe it or not.
Yeah, I'm still surprised by that because first of all, you have a lot, and second of all, several of them to me seem like they just do the same thing. And then third of all, if I was that age and writing, like I feel like I just would have forgotten about some of them.
You know what I love is that this fairy was like, oh yes, 13-year-old boy, here are all of these dangerous things. You're gonna kill some fools.
That's also kind of another thing. In a way, it's like in a video game, you fight enemies and you don't really think too much about it. But like, I feel like in a story context, describing murdering an animal of some kind or like a goblin is like kind of more intense. I don't know.
You know, one thing I was going for when I was writing this is that I didn't want it to feel like a cliche, like, child story where everything is, like, all innocent and sweet. I was like, nah, he's gonna fucking kill some things.
My boy Jace is a killing machine.
I wanted to be taken seriously. And also, I feel like that like appealed to like the boys in my class. They were like, "Yeah, kill him."
Well, of course. I mean, they're boys. But I was gonna say, uh, you all apparently always had like a darker sense of like writing. Like I want things to feel real and intense because like you also wrote another story where like toys were fighting each other, like
we,
like
we
stuffed
we
animals.
don't talk about that one.
I'm gonna talk about it.
Great.
you had you had teddy bears fighting what?
um, I'm trying to remember. I think it was like to back up so that you guys know what we're talking about. It was like this girl. Um, in a lot of ways, it's kind of like Toy Story. Like like Sid was an asshole, and he had a younger sister, and he just like tormented her. I don't remember her name, but this story that I was writing is basically like think of like the little sister, and like she's not getting along well with her brother, so like the little girl's toys are at war with the boys' toys.
Oh, I see. Well, anyway, the ending of it. Why don't you tell them like exactly the way that you ended it?
I remember showing my story to my parents, and they were just kind of horrified with the last line of my story, and the last line was, "The war will never end."
There's no happy ending in this story. This is an ongoing battle that will never cease. Long after the children rather, both of the owners of like the various toys, long after they're grown up and die and blow away in the wind, these toys will be at each other's throats, ripping each other's heads off and blowing each other up. This is war.
I probably seemed like a little psychopath, but I promise I'm not a psychopath. I just wanted to write an edgy story.
I guess. I mean, you succeeded, jeez.
Anyways, I think that concludes this chapter. Unless you have anything else you'd like to add, you know, since you're right here next to this theatrical read that I just did.
Like looking at the page.
I wasn't sure if you had anything else you wanted to add. Any
Um,
thoughts about the chapter?
I just feel like it's really unfair that he gets all these all at once.
I mean, that kind of like. Doesn't that happen with Breath of the Wild where like he just kind of gets items right from the beginning? Oh, I'm thinking of like the bomb and
Yeah, I
other.
mean you're right, but Breath of the Wild also has just a completely different layout in terms of like its game design because it's open world. So if it was like a traditional Zelda and you still got everything at the beginning, that'd be weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, that should be all for this episode.
I'm Deanna.
And I'm Michael, and we will see you next time with probably another story time.
The
Or
next
maybe
one.
we'll be talking about movies or video games or whatever.
But stay tuned for chapter 8 called Was It a Dream?
Ooh. Was it?
You'll find out.
Okay, but like, was it?
You'll find out.
Bye.
Bye.